Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Is the sound good? Is the video good? Test, test, test. Is the sound good? Is the video good? Test, test, test. Is the sound good? Video good? Test, test. Is the sound good? Video good? Is video good? Test, 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 test. 3, 2, 1. Test. Test, test, test. 3, 2, 1. Muziek, muziek, muziek. Muziek, muziek, muziek. Muziek. Oké, het lijkt erop alsof de muziek, of het geluid in ieder geval prima is. Het lijkt erop alsof de muziek, of het geluid in ieder geval prima is. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Even kijken hoor. Nogmaals, test, test, test. Nogmaals, test, test, test. Nogmaals, test, test, test. Oké, oké, oké. Look, the first people are getting in the chat. Can you guys let me know if the screen is good visible and if the sound is good? Because it never worked, but now apparently it looks to work, but I'm not sure. All good. Well, I've spent days figuring it out and now it works. It's always the same. Okay, cool. Everything clear. Good, good, good. Okay, let me then also share it on my X. Let's see if more people join. Um, tu- 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 tu. New York Open in 15 seconds. So, Said, good to see you, brother. Let me share quickly the stream. Okay, there we go. Okay, so happy that it works. Let's watch the chat. First stream of many, I hope. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Uh, if it works, like it seems like it does, then I'll definitely do this more often. Okay, let's see. New York Open just started. Let me just start with a Bitcoin analyze, then quickly use the T, just what I did with the stream, with the video earlier today, and then we can just do questions, just vibe, doesn't matter. This time I don't have music. Hopefully it's a bit better. But with the streams, yeah, the intent is to just share my view. If you have any questions, just ask it, and then I can explain it. Because some things that for me are pretty obvious, and I think are obvious, is for a lot of people absolutely not obvious. And I also know that. But if anything is unclear, just let me know. Um, I don't know if you guys saw my video earlier today, but I am looking for potential shorts. We have this bigger range with our range high, range low, and then we have a more local range with starting point here. Can be called tab 1, tab 2. This is short term tab 3, and then we pushed up. And right now we are in the premium section of this bigger range. And like last week, we had this grind up, and I said that I felt like it was Sailor buying again with this consolidation right here. And I just saw that last week Sailor bought a lot of coins again. So that's what happened here. And that's often what you see on a very low time frame, is that price just keeps pushing higher and higher without doing basically anything. And that's just a top order that keeps buying. So probably Sailor has bought here. And generally that's in the end a bearish thing. So a little +1 confluence. But why am I interested in shorts? Let me clear this up. If we just look at the market structure right here, this market structure, you can't really call this market structure, but this is the highest point. So you can basically draw a range from that point right here to this low. And then in the middle, we also had some accumulative price action right here, which hit the target right there. And this is step 1. Then we can extend our range to this high. And then we had a deviation of this high that perfectly tapped into supply that was resting right here. And what I absolutely love is when your Wyckoff high, so for Wyckoff, this is our tab 1, This is our tap 2, and this is currently our tap 3. What I'm also keeping in mind is that these two taps might merge into one and that we still get a move higher up, which will then be our model 1. But why I'm now interested in short, only if we get to the supply, is because we have our third tap of the Wyckoff aligning with a very strong pivot high. Let me go to the 30. Right here at hour 0. And when they align, that's a really strong signal. Like that's the best signal you can get. But for me to get short, I need to have that move into supply, and then I can get into short. Because right now we are at the middle of this local range. So if I'm gonna short here, all that I care about is how strong is my invalidation. So I always want an invalidation where I know that if it gets hit, that I'm wrong, and not just because I want to make a lot of money. Like some people will see this and think, oh, I'm gonna use this as my invalidation because I think we go to the range low. But how strong is that invalidation? In my opinion, that's just gambling. I know that this is my invalidation, very strong pivot. So I want that as my invalidation. But if I then target the range low, it's a 1R. So that's not good for me. So I want price to get into this level, then break structure, then this is my short trigger, stop loss above that high, and then TP1 right there, TP2 right there. Chances that we are going for the level are decreasing, but we can still watch. If we then look at the confluence from the statistics, let me close this right here. And we can go to summary, choose a Bitcoin, daily and session. And then we can see why that third tab, I like that as my invalidation. If it loads, yeah, here. Then you can see P1 flip risk, 27% of the days took out the daily high. So 1 out of the 4 times. And here 32, so 1 out of the third, takes out the daily high. Which means that, yeah, this high is statistically likely to hold. And while doing that, we can see that there's 96% based on the time statistics to make a bigger movement. And on the distance, it's 98%. So that basically means that this high is likely to hold. The current low we have is put in at a bad time. And that the move we have currently from high to low, there's like a 95, 96% that we will see a bigger move. So I am pretty sure that we will go lower for the rest of the day. However, I need that move into supply, otherwise yeah, I can justify a short, unfortunately. Some other confluences. We are currently in the New York session. I can show you that with here. New York session is from 12 till, what is it? 12 till 8 o'clock. But in the New York session, you have from 12, I can show you that here. 12 is here till 15 is here. Between this zone, that's where 80% of the New York session pivots is being created. So this is an area where I always want to pay close attention. I hate the London session. I love the Asia session. Asia session is here. And right now, what I would love to see to get into a short is that we maintain this local structure, which is here. This is our low. This is our high. This is our low. Right now, I hope that we make a new high, a new low, do something like this, then break structure. And then once we break this low, it's full confirmation, but here is where I already wanted to look for shorts. I'm not sure it's gonna happen because we need to make quite some movement higher up in order to activate the short. But alerts are set, so let's see what's gonna happen. In case we do not come back for the high and already start going lower, then I don't really see a setup until we are back at the range low, so taking all this liquidity out. But then I'm pretty cautious because below this consolidation, we only have liquidity, like a lot of liquidity. So for the long side, I'm yeah, I don't really see anything just yet, either here or then much lower. Then what I also like to do on the Monday is to look for the pivot zones for the weekly. Like this, let me explain the pivot zones for the people that it's not clear. The pivot zones is basically I use them for the daily and for the weekly. And right now, this is the daily, and it means that 80% of the P1s are put in between these levels. And then if we have a bearish day, 80% of the moves will make its way into this lower box. And if we have a bullish day, they will make its way into the upper box. So you can easily see where where price can head to if we are bullish or bearish. And the same can be done for the weekly, where we can see that this is the weekly P1 zone. So if we have a bullish week, we know that like in almost all cases, it gets put in on Monday or on Tuesday. So oftentimes when we have at the start a move down, that can be a sign that we have a bullish week ahead. And if we have a strong push up and then a move down, that's often a sign that we get a bearish week. So that's why Monday and Tuesday are often very important. And also the reason why I don't trade that often on Monday, because I let first the market decide. And then if we have statistics showing us the way, we can trade with a lot more confidence. Right now, just watching this range, we can still make our way. We are holding the point of control and the value area high, and technically also still maintaining this upward structure right here. So this can still be the lower high or for the higher high, or here we break that structure and then get our move lower. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Hopefully we get the move. Then always nice as a confluence is to use the T-dominance chart, where we have a range. It's kind of a PO3, but a bit of an extended PO3, so don't take it too much for granted. But right now, price is back in this range high, range low, some demand zones below, some liquidity, and right in the middle, price is forming a new range right here. And this is basically the inverse of Bitcoin. So if we invert this, then you can already see that this looks quite a lot like Bitcoin currently, where you have your high, took out to that high, and then for Bitcoin, I'm looking at this move and then lower. Yeah, and this is just the invert chart. So what I'm hoping to see is that we get that move down here, then look for local signs, and then you have your 1, your 2, your 3 in confluence with Bitcoin, target the range high. One thing to be aware is that during this low, for on USDT dominance, it's even more clear, is that this is only liquidity. So why is that only liquidity? Because normally when you have market structure, it trends up like this, and then this is where you form demand, and then you push up again. And then price generally likes to mitigate demand and then push higher again. And in that way, you have strong support. Right here, it's basically only slight higher highs without any good demand mitigation. So once you fall below this this demand zone right here, from where the strong push came, then it can be a pretty quick move lower. So then with these kind of structures, you always have to be a bit more careful. But yeah, here also alert set. Just waiting for price to come into that level. That's there. How do you draw your MPOCs? Do you choose a supply order block? Yeah, so I use an MPOC, which is a naked point of control. Let me show it on a clear chart. So what you generally have is that you can clear this, and then on the 4-hour, let me put this range on the chart. As we know, price always in like 80% of the cases, price is in a range, and then you have your point of control, stuff like that. right here we have a point of control. But you have also naked point of controls. A naked point of control is a point of control that has not been retested. So that's where a lot of liquidity is still resting. I mark them out by this indicator, SVP HD. I can show you. And then extend the POC to the right. And then every red line that goes through, that's untested. So here you see a few, here's one, but those are taken out already. Here's one. And price generally likes to move towards those MPOCs, but I only use them when they align with the supply block. So I know, for example, that we have supply right there and demand right here. And then that's an important level, as we can see right here. Then I have that MPOC in this supply block. Let's clear it up. So then when you have supply and an MPOC, that's just a little extra confluence, same as this one. I think that sooner or later price will still go back to the range low right here. Purely because we have good demand, we have that MPOC resting there. So that's why I want to look for shorts in this area, because I will not be surprised to see price make something like this, give us that extended accumulation, the one, R2, and then the 3. And then I think we can aim for new all-time highs. So yeah, the SVP had the yeah, if you guys have any charts, let me know. I have a whole list of coins I'm looking at. I can quickly go over the ones I charted this morning. Here we have, okay, I need to work on my clean game. Here we have ETH, formed a Model 1 distribution. Remember, I trade a lot of Wyckoff, so remember these patterns where you have your range high getting taken out here, and that gets taken out again. That is your Wyckoff Model 1. That's exactly what I'm looking at for Bitcoin currently. ETH completed that Model 1, came to the range lows, kind of deviated the range low right here, and is currently in retesting this MPOC level, where we have supply aligning and our market structure is still high time frame bearish, where we have the break. So here we can still form this lower high, come back for the for this demand zone, and then put in a stronger bottom. Because right now, if you compare the length of this range with the length of this deviation, then I don't think that's enough for ETH to make its way through all these supply zones. So I would like to see ETH get this move down, and then I think this whole move will be the deviation before we can run it back to the highs. So currently on ETH, we have this local range where price came into here, range high, range low, took out the range, so 2 taps, but we always need our 3 taps. Currently price is retesting this demand zone where we are slightly bouncing from. So ETH could also be a possible short if we retest this supply right here. ETH is basically the exact same as BTC, in which we have our P1 at hour 0 right there. So that's a strong pivot. Hour 10 is a weak pivot. So also for ETH, yeah, chances are highly in favor for this high to hold and for this low to be taken out later today. So I'm interested in shorts, but just the same as with BTC, I'm not going to short it here. Use my stop loss that hour 0 and then target the range low for a 1.3R. That's not what I do. So this is where your patience and your mental control comes into play, where you just need to wait for price to either come to your level and then you can execute, or you just sit out and let the market do its thing. Short right now, does look good. Pengu. Okay, let me go over Ondo. Ondo, it's a beautiful chart. This is one you want to pay attention to, because this is on the high time frame, we have a massive, like here. Here we had a consolidation, huge move up, then a huge correction of around 70%. But that's often what you see, is that the price makes a huge move up, then a long sideways, what we are currently seeing, and then it makes its way up for the next move. Basically, downtrend, go over into a sideways. This is where everyone loses attention, manipulation, and then a new trend starts. Every market goes from down, sideways, up. So what price is doing here is that we have our initial range low. We swept the range low. So then we can look for a Wyckoff model. And here, that would be a model 2 is the first thing you want to look at. And in order for a model 2 to be valid, you want price to test extreme demand. And that's the level right here. So if price comes into this level, this is where I'm going to look for swing longs targeting the range highs. So that can be give some amazing opportunities for either longs or just for spot buying. So this is a massive level I'm looking at. Price can also always go over into a model 1 if things get ugly, because we still have a major low resting down here. So then we could also create a 3 drives pattern, aka model 1, and then get that extended model to really make the max pain opportunity. But first thing is to look for the model 2. Locally, price is forming a new range right here, initial range high, sweep of the range high. And this is basically the same, I think, with the high at hour 0. Yeah, high at hour 0, low at hour 13, also bad low. So a lot of coins are actually showing the same behavior, where a move towards the range high will open a short for me and then target the range lows, especially on low, because what I just explained with that weak liquidity, if you look at this price action, this is just one massive liquidity trail. You can't find any good demand zones in this area. The only good demand zone we had was this one that brought price to that new high. But currently price is losing this demand. So then it's at risk of quickly flushing lower, because this is all just weak liquidity. But on Ondo, if you go to the highs, I might be interested in short, but I'm more interested just in high time frame longs for this zone lower down. Let's quickly look at BTC. Yeah, just consolidating. So for Ondo, it could for the short term provide a short. Still, if we go up here, hold above these lows, and then get a short trigger right here, then you could look for your model 2 stop loss. That's the short. Sometimes they switch around and then I'm right there. And then technical target is the range low. But you can let some run and then switch it over into a long, because that's the best position you can have, is if you are running a short and a long, because then you're not in a hurry to jump into it, because you have a privilege to be in the short already. So that's the view for Ondo. I see Daniel. I'm in an ARP short right now. Does it look good? Let me look. I haven't looked at ARP in a really long time. Phew, that chart got murdered pretty hard. Okay, it's at all-time low, so then there's not a lot of support. Here we can draw a new range from low to high. Here we have supply above supply. Someone is calling me. Then we have demand resting at the lows right here. Pum, pum, pum. The start of this liquidity trail is just above that high. Liquidity. What I don't like about this chart is that you have your initial range low, initial range high, and then further nothing. So here you just front ran your range low, but then in that case you still have your tab 1 at the lows and tab 1 at the highs. And I always want to have play the Wyckoff models in which you come up, come down. From there you can deviate your range low again, and then this becomes your, let me draw it. Then you have your 1, your 2, and your 3. And if you then break structure, you can target the range high. So this is what I would like to see for the models. And that's, for example, what I'm looking at for Ondo, where this was your range low. You took it out right here. So then this is exactly what I just drew, where you have your 1, your 2 took out that range low. And then here you come back to the mend, form that higher low, and then you can target your range high. So Ondo is a clean Wyckoff model, while Arbitrum doesn't have that. And it can go to the highs right now, but it's just not a model that I would like to play. So I would love to see price take out that range low, and then we can talk about potential accumulation models. Right now it's yeah, we can zoom in a bit. I think a lot of people will draw a trend line right here. Yeah. And then you are like, I'm in ARB short right now. Does it look good? Depends where you are short from, but I would rather be in a short right now than in a long. So because I just think that this was a fake out, and the downtrend, which is this one, I think this downtrend will just continue until proven otherwise. So in that case, this can be the lower high to bring us to that range low from where we can start an accumulation. Right now, everything is pointing lower. And also never trust, I don't advise to use trend lines, but when you do them, only trust the 4 tab. Here you have 1, 2, 3. 3 is often the fake one. This is where a lot of retail steps in, where big Twitter accounts will start yelling that Arbitrum is gonna give a breakout. But the third one is often the fake out. And then if you should ever trust a trend line, then it's only on the fourth one. So never trust the third one, trust the fourth one. So I think that this will just continue lower. I'm not sure where you entered, but yeah, it looks pretty good, I would say. I guess you entered somewhere around here. For my system, there would not be an entry, but I just shorted at 3,611. Yeah, I think it depends on what your system is. It could be a good short. But I always like market structure for me is a king. And now on the low time frame, this is basically your market structure. And then you can watch, do you have lower market structure? But then I see that we have demand here. Look, and even in this latest push, there's no market structure at all. So for me, the first market structure I can find is on the 10-minute, is here. This is the 2 candles down that bring you to that high. So then this is your market structure level. Let me put it like this. Break structure level. So for me, it would only give me an entry if it breaks the structure, but then it's already too late. But yeah, it depends a bit on what kind of system you follow. But I would say that being short here is not weird. Just because that's literally every time frame is pointing lower. And we did not take out the range low, so I would say that the magnet currently is located at the range low. Pengu had a Model 1 distribution called. Okay. That's funny because I saw on Twitter a lot of Pengu shills. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if it formed a model. Pengu or like a Model 1 distribution. Took out this high. There's also some supply. Okay, okay. That's indeed a Model 1. Yeah, like a bit of an overextended Model 1, kind of more like a PO3, I would say, where this was your manipulation phase. But yeah, it can also be seen like a Model 1, but it's not the most beautiful one. But oh, yeah, that break here could have been your entry. Break structure. Yeah, pretty clean. I'm not sure what the volume profile was. Yeah, nice one. I guess you entered somewhere around here. Target range lows. Clean one. And funny that there was like, I was reading Twitter and everyone, like there was one coin, the Pengu, and I saw them shill it. I was like, why? And I saw comparisons between Pengu and Solana before it went 50x. And then you know that it's time to look for shorts. Let me check the chat. Goat, please. Okay, I can do. On the chart and Pengu short since London session today. Oh, that's very nice. When was that high put in on hour 6? Uh, okay, let me go to the goat. First, quickly, what is Bitcoin doing? ETH not doing much. Fart also not. I'm looking at the, but it will be a scalp long if we start to form an accumulation right here. Because I think we can make one more high on fart and then mitigate supply here, and then I'm looking for short. But right now, let me see. No, not that interested. APT not doing much. Also not doing much. Okay, let me quickly check my green list, otherwise I've wasted my time this morning. Popcat. Let's see. I miss the music, guys. I gotta be honest. It's now quiet in my room. Let me put it here. Popcat, yeah. Popcat is the same like the others. Either we can mitigate demand, then come up, take extreme liquidity, form a 1, 2, 3, lower high, model 2, target range lows, or we can just maintain this uptrend and then push up, take out that naked point of control in this strong supply zone, and then we have that model 1. I would prefer the model 1 on this one, just because we have that confluences right there. but it should not happen, of course. Lose this demand and then we already go down. But with basically yeah, kind of the same story. With same story as Popcat, either we hold this demand, come back to the extreme supply, break structure, get a model 2, or here we also have some supply resting above. Let me see. Not sure if that's, yeah, that's pretty good. Also negative point of control, yeah. So also for with, I would prefer a model 1, to be honest. But you can always watch for your model 2, and if your model 2 doesn't get a confirmation, so meaning that you don't get that slow pullback here, and then your aggressive break of structure, if you don't get this, then you just watch for the model 1. That's why I also always say to wait for your market structure break, even if it's the most local one, because then you yeah, avoid a lot of mistakes. Quickly Sol, not interested. Bitcoin dumping. Oh. Okay, it seems like altcoins are already dropping while BTC has yet to drop. Will it be a bloody Monday? Okay, back to the chat. And Pengu short, cool, thank you, man. Any thoughts on BCC? Leo, good to see you, brother. Been a long time. Oh yeah, Pengu is of course the NFT. What is Pengu? From which project is it again? Oh yeah, that's it's just an NFT project. I got a airdrop of it a while back, $100 or something. Big win. So, let's see, local range. Okay, go to the next one. Goat was the next request. Goat. Currently in it tapped into demand. Mm, yeah, I always want to see an accumulation or distribution. Then I'm interested in it. If I don't see it, then I'm not. Like right now, yeah, you can draw it from low to high or from high to low. Right now, I would draw it from high to low, right here. But then I think this will earlier put in a new distribution. So here we have some supply. We have tab 1, tab 2. So also here, this can go over into a model 1. And then I would be interested in shorting it. Also for the fact that if you just look at market structure, then we can go from all the way to the high, start here. Then it's obvious that we have a pretty strong downtrend right here. Like this. And that currently we are at that market structure point. So here you could, yeah, this is even lower. You could say that it locally tries to maybe break that structure, but until we break above this level, then I would say that every trend is down. What is it? Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin breaking lower. Probably the whole market going lower then. Yes. So for goat, I would be looking at your 1, your 2, and then if we here we have a very good looking supply zone. So if we don't already break down here, because here we also once again have all that liquidity resting lower, then this could actually be a pretty nice short to look at, where you have your model 1 tapped into supply. If you then break structure, you can target the range low like this. But in order for that, you need to hold this low, otherwise, yeah, breaking the low, then you only have weak liquidity here, so then it can be a quick move lower. Any thoughts on VCT? Okay, VCT. Is that Walton chain? Because I remember that from back in 2017 or something when I started. Or is this another coin? The logo looks like Walton chain. Yeah, this looks very bad. I would like not be interested in look, even on the lowest it's in all-time lows, but even here you have initial range low, low, high. You did not even take out your low, so there's no accumulation. Right now you are earlier showing signs of distribution. So this probably just continues lower and lower until it ever finds a bottom. Maybe it needs to take out this all-time low. But yeah, I'm not sure if you wanted to hear some bullish things about it, but then yeah, I'm sorry. BTC. We are still in that hit zone, so if bulls step in, look, that's the strategy right now. Where is our 15? Our 15 is right there. Then our current New York session high is this one. Our current session low is this one. This is 15. So if after this, one of these levels gets taken out, so either this level or this level, then the other side becomes very strong, which means that, let's say, price consolidates here for a little longer, right here, and then crosses that 15 UTC mark, and then takes out the high. That means that this low is very strong, and then it could justify a long, but not for me because I'm not gonna short long range highs. On the other hand, it also opens the door if we go lower. So let's say price consolidates here, crosses that 15 UTC mark, and then takes out this low, then this becomes a very strong session pivot, and this a very low probability hold. So then you could take a short with your invalidation above that high, and then target the range low. But it all depends on yeah, your local price action. So gonna be interesting what we do in the next 45 minutes. Um, do you use order books for extra confluence? Because I'm seeing large orders at 108 and 104. No, I never look at the order book. No, I think that everything is visible on the chart itself. So, like, what are you saying? Large cells at 1010. Yeah, like that's where I have a big supply zone and a naked point of control. So sooner or later, I'm pretty sure price will test this level, and that's where I'm looking for short triggers. But orders can remain there for a very long time. So if here's a lot of liquidity, it doesn't mean we have to get there immediately. It's just that sooner or later we will get there. But I always need just a local trigger. Currently a pretty nice buyback. Bum, bum, bum. Remember that Monday and Tuesday are often the days that put in either your weekly high or low. So then the rest of the week you know that yeah, where you can aim for. So that's why I'm never in a hurry on Monday to get into trades. Because let's say price makes a new high tomorrow, then this could still be a Model 1 distribution into that supply above. And then that will be my weekly high. And then I look from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for shorts. If we go down very aggressively right now, then it could be that tomorrow it puts in the weekly low and that we get higher prices. So it's just a, yeah, like where price first go is often the fake move. And it works for the start of the day, start of the week, and start of the month. So tomorrow is a new month is starting. And when you want to have a bullish month, then you generally first want to see price go lower, put in your low of the month in the first 2 weeks, and then you have bullish expansion afterwards. If you start your month with a strong push higher in the first week or 1.5 week, then you are at risk that that's your monthly high and that you have ended as a bearish month. So that's how you can, at the start of the month, start of the week, can see what market maker wants to do, because they're always seeking liquidity. So if they want the price to go higher, they first push price lower to hit their own buy orders to then send it. If they want to sell, they will first push price higher, so everyone FOMOs in, and then they can sell. Let me. We can also quickly look at the statistics if a coin is. Look, these are the main coins I'm watching. And right now you can see direction, every coin bearish. So that means that the high was put in first and then the low. And then here you see the P1 flip risk. So how likely is it that the P1 will get flipped? So for Bitcoin, this is the high and this is the low. So for Bitcoin, we can, where is Bitcoin? Here, bearish bias, direction bearish, a 27.8% chance to take out the high, while there's a 95.8% probability to make a bigger distance. So, and then P wants further, okay. But then we can do the same for altcoins. So here we can see 11% is very low. Then generally I want to have a coin with a low P1 flip risk and a high percentage with more distance. So let's see. We have S, 15% flip risk, 86% with more distance. Okay, that's interesting. S USDT dot perp. This one has been trending down. Yeah, also like there's no tomorrow. Okay, and then look, what are the daily stats? P1 at our 0 right there. Let me mark that out. So that's the high, the low. Yeah, here I'm pretty sure that price will take out all this liquidity, but it's not for my, it's no short for me, because I want a local range. Then we can watch for another. In the meantime, if anyone has a question, just let me know. Otherwise, I do a few more coins and then I'm gonna check out. Tao 15%, 93. I want somewhat of a retracement, otherwise your Ave is maybe Ave or okay, Ave and Psi. Let me check. Ave used the T. Okay, Ave. Okay. So here we have a local range with 2 tabs, and the if we let's now just check the stats. Ave. Session and daily stats. The daily high is at hour 1. Let's quickly look. Some demand right here. Do we have something above? It seems like we have. Yeah, so there's always a warning sign that there is a reason for price to come higher. One tap, 2 tap. Here local structure is this right there. So here price is breaking structure, breaker structure. Then P1 is likely to hold. Let's see. Low P1 flip risk, 10% of the days took out the daily high. Okay. And 18% of the days took out the daily high. Okay, so that's very low. And 86 and 82% chance of a bigger move to the downside. Okay, interesting. Let's see what we have locally. Liquidity. Okay, here it's the same case. It's like there's a 10% probability that this high gets taken out, and there's a 85% probability that we make a bigger move to the downside. So you could short here, but that's not what my system allows. So we have supply right here above. So this is an area where I will be looking for shorts if we get there, but I'm not sure we get there today. Local market structure is trending down. Trying to flip it here. So what I would like to see is that price makes a new local uptrend. Then preferably it comes into that supply, but I'm not sure. But you can always watch your market structure, and once that breaks to bearish, you can take a short at a short with the invalidation above that high, and then target lower. And that will be a really clean play if it presents itself, because then you have a Wyckoff model 2 if price takes that extreme liquidity, aligning with statistics that are highly in favor of that high holding and lower prices. And then you only have to wait for your local market structure to break back to bearish. And then you have a lot of confluences that are aligning. So this one I will keep my eye on. And I just mentioned another one. What was the other chart again? Psi. Let's see. This one made a crazy move lately. But right now, locally forming a range. Tap 1, tap 2. daily high at, oh, no, that's not interesting. Okay, so far market is pretty slow. It's not doing that much. Looks like BTC is getting that bearish, so I'm afraid I don't get my short entry, and we will make our way to that towards those lower levels. And in that case, I want to see really, really clean accumulation models, but overall, I don't think we see them. The sooner we go lower, the better it is if we want to have a bullish week. Yeah, might still get it, but I don't think. Justin, its official jumbo will be replaced. Seriously? Will Powell be replaced? It will be crazy. Okay, last one. Euro. For Euro, what I'm looking at is we have a potential model 2, but we never confirmed the breaker structure right here. There was an SFP, so it's likely that we will make a new high. So then I'm looking for a model 1, like here, an extended model 1. And then I want to see price slowly get into that, then break structure, and then short it. It would be better if we keep all these lows intact. And then this is a very good model 1 distribution I'm looking at if we slowly come into it, and if we confirm a local breaker structure, because Euro has been pumping like crazy, but we are also leaving a lot of liquidity behind on the way up, right there. And you could even potentially see this as a, I'm not expecting it because I'm not sure what will happen in order for, but if we call this a potential PO3, then you want a local distribution in this level. If you then get your local confirmations, you can trade that local model and you can let some run, because here we have very obvious demand, but oftentimes that's just fake demand before price comes back into the range. And then you have your kind of PO3 idea, where this could be your max manipulation right now. So that's why I'm looking at Euro also a bit for that model 1 distribution. Will be really clean. And yeah, hour 15 is now gonna close. So quiet session for now. Oh, lol. So Powell is history. I think since I started that he was in charge. I have no idea who was in charge before him. He was like the famous granddad. Okay, I think that was it for this stream. I'm gonna stream more often. Also gonna keep doing the videos because I like to watch videos above streams, because streams are often filled with a lot of nonsense, and I like to keep it compact so you get real value for what you watch. But yeah, I think Bitcoin will move lower. Didn't get the entry here, unfortunately. Would have been really clean. So let's see what happens over the next few days. For Bitcoin, yeah, this is still an area of for shorts if we get into there. But yeah, we are already taking this liquidity. So the more liquidity we take to the downside, the less interested I'm in that short. If we form something really clean after taking this low and then fail to break lower, it could still give a long, because eventually I expect price to go to 110, but yeah, the triggers need to be really clean. I think altcoins are worth attention a bit more because they can still, for them, I can justify some longs, especially if they go a bit lower. Also some shorts. So yeah, enough opportunities this week. So let's see what the market gives us further. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. It was the first stream, but definitely not the last one. Yeah, that was it. Thanks for tuning in, and then I see you guys tomorrow with a new video. And I'm streaming in the Brighter Data Discord tomorrow. So if you want to see a new stream based purely on statistics, then you can join that one. We'll do. Thanks, everyone. Now I'm gonna not enjoy the weather because it's too hot, but at least gonna go off the screen. So thanks, guys, and bye bye. Now I have to see how I end the stream. Oh, I see it. Okay, cheers.